Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, some very interesting news from the world of boxing, right? One of the promoters, Matchroom promoter, bringing the zone to America, the zone, the app, right? A lot of fighters, the big matches, they've been running things, they think, at least, right? Anyway, Eddie Hearn, Mr. Matchroom himself, right, came out and said, basically, man, we ain't gonna have no more easy fights, right, for big money. We can't afford to have no more easy fights with big money. Him, he's representing the zone too, not only Matchroom. We can't have no easy fights for big money. After what's going on right now, and we're gonna have to give a good product to the people right now. So, ain't gonna be no more easy fights. And I was like, yeah, translation for me was simple, knowing what's going on in the zone. The translation was, look, Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez, and Gennady Golovkin costing us too much damn money. That's what the translation is. That's what happened. Because at the zone, who had all the biggest contracts? Remember when Anthony Joshua got signed? He was already making big money. So we're just going over there and help Eddie Hearn and them make the big splash. Remember that? That big splash? Now, you talking to the zone executives, and they thinking, oh, well, Anthony Joshua, we got a big fight as our first fight coming over. We'll fight that big mouth guy, the Deontay Wilder. Get that guy. And we have a what's that called? Talking to the boxing guy. What is that called, man? Yeah, they call it undisputed. Yeah, undisputed. Right? That should be our first fight. Well, no, we don't really want to do that. We don't think we need to do that one right away. We'll come with something else. Something else? We're trying to make a bang here. Well, we'll let that one marinate a little bit and we'll get back to that one. Well, what are we going to give them? We got this Povetkin guy, right? We got this Povetkin guy. He's a decorated, Olympian. He's been doped a few times, but sometimes we don't talk about that. But, decorated Olympian, we can get him. He won the gold medal. Oh, we'll let you get away with this one, but let's see. I don't know if that one's going to be what we need as our first one, but let's see what happens. You know what happened? 17,000 people wanted to see that on the Zone's premiere. 17,000. I didn't mess up no zeros. 17,000 in all of America, right? That's a dismal number, which we said back then. Absolutely absurd. So a fight you took from the zone executives was we couldn't have an undisputed fight with Wilder to bust down the dough in the marketplace. Make it happen. So we went with Povetkin instead. On the same date that you was talking about Wilder. It was September, it was supposed to be. Right? Back in the day. So that's a fight that the zone did not get. Right? So they signed up Canelo, right? 365 million, biggest contract, sport history or boxing history, because he with the fights guaranteed, blah blah blah. Because we don't Floyd Mayweather, we keep him out. Floyd basically got all the numbers. But I'm just saying, it's a big contract, 365 million or something like that for 10 fights, right? Sign him up. So the boss is thinking, all right, we got the Canelo. We gave him 365 million, so I know he's all that. So what do we got? Well, he fights on his Mexican holidays. So we got September coming up soon. I don't think he's going to fight. He wants to fight another guy, Russian guy. It's Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev. Okay, what about Kovalev? He's 2 divisions up and he can get a title. Well, what about this guy down here? And all of a sudden, he hears the word again. Undisputed. Yeah, undisputed. He can fight for undisputed, a Mexican holiday, big fight, and he's one champion in the middleweight division. Matter of fact, we don't even have to do any promotion for that. Undisputed sells itself. A fight that they didn't get. Right? Then the titles get all mixed up after that. Right? Then the titles get mixed up off that. So you didn't get that undisputed fight, you got Kovalev instead. It's a big fight that the zone not getting, right? Then all of a sudden you're thinking, well, shoot, Gennady Golovkin, what you doing in the meantime? We signed you too big. You over here fighting Zamareta. You're about to fight Zamareta, right? You fought Vanis Rosen. In between that, Steve Rose, right? Had one fight with Darenchenko. So they're not really getting that the big fight from him either. He could have fought Charlo for the mandatory position for the WBC, and said no. Think about Gennady Golovkin and Charlo in Texas. So for Canelo fans and for Gennady Golovkin fans, let's roll through this again. Canelo beats Andre to become undisputed middleweight champion, right? Gennady Golovkin beats Charlo, right? Boom, to become that mandatory for the WBC. Canelo's awesome. Gennady Golovkin's awesome, and they fight for one of the biggest, awesome, most awesome titles, right? For undisputed again, even though Canelo was already undisputed, but he got two controversial wins over uh, Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin just come off of beating up Charlo, come in that fight, boom, huge fight. All them fights, the zone didn't get, right? And somebody in the meetings had to tell them why. It's a whole lot of people in the meetings telling people no. Right now, we ain't fighting this guy. Nope, we're not fighting this guy. Nah, we gotta leave him. And let me tell you, there's enough ammunition at the zone. All these people were signed at the zone. You got Andre, Jacobs, and whatever, but you ain't talking to Jacobs and he ain't fighting nobody. You ain't talking to Andre and he ain't fighting nobody. And you definitely ain't walking up on Alexander Usyk talking about he won't fight nobody. This is boxing royalty, man. He probably couldn't even understand that. What you mean I ain't fighting nobody, dude? You do know who I am. You trying to make me not fight people, right? But listen, I'm Alexander Usyk, man. I'm the only undisputed person in here, right? And when everybody's backyard to become undisputed, man, your boy Joshua over there, you go talk to him about stuff about that. He could have done something undisputed. Don't come to my door talking about nothing. So he ain't going to Usyk. Usyk gonna fight somebody. At least that's what we lead to believe. He has that respect for doing what he's done up until now. So everybody, the problem is, in translation, Eddie Hearn was out there telling people, listen, basically, Gennady, you, Canelo, you, and AJ, you're gonna have to fight. It ain't gonna you can't do that no more. Instead of them big old fights and with these people that are not trying to see. That is what the real issue is because the zone hasn't wasted a lot of money on a whole lot of other fighters. It's really them three. And all three of them had opportunity to have major, major, mega, super mega fights. Super mega fights. Every one of those fights I said in the middleweight division, Charlo and Golovkin in Texas, uh, Canelo versus Andre for undisputed middleweight championship, or anything else, right? All that's just huge stuff, right? So those things have been missing, and of course, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder was considered the biggest fight in the heavyweight division for a whole long time, for 2 years at least. That's all we were talking about. That was about how big that fight was. Now that bubble's been bust because they didn't fight. So whose face is it? Wilder's still handling his business. Tyson Fury even up in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Right? But the zone, who had all throwing all that money around and people and not allowing them to not fight, it's going to be some internal turmoil going on in there. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens because I think that what Eddie Hearn just said is this: look, we can't have no easy fights no more right away because we're competing with other sports as well. Because people are the seasons that they normally have when we get back. People gonna want sport, en masse. Everybody gonna want some sport. So you're gonna be competing against a lot of sport, and you're probably not gonna be given being able to present diluted cards. So he's being real here, but I think he's going to have to start at the top. And I think the zone executives, or either they were naive or thinking that you were going to be able to give these kind of fights and ignore what people have been saying. Now, we didn't gloat here, but everybody who was talking about Deontay Wilder and AJ should have fought, right? Everybody that keeps saying, like me, and many of you, that Canelo just won't fight Andre and Charlo. Gennady Golovkin won't either, but they're rated higher. They're able to fight this guy and that guy. That's the zone. They can't be that naive. They was trying something. It backfired, like it always does, because the truth is always going to win at the end. Justice takes time. It don't just come right away. Boom, justice. That don't happen. It's always boom. Damn, man, 20 years to get that justice. Sometimes it's like that. But let's see what happens. That was very, very pertinent, interesting information from Eddie Hearn because it looked like he was out there basically saying, "Listen, it's over like that. We got to throw down, everybody. I got a stable here. We got to throw down, and it's time to start talking to the main guys who we just mentioned because basically those are the main culprits. I'll be honest, hate to be like that, but it's bottom line. Those three are the ones I've done videos about. I probably put the same thumbnail up. I've done videos about those three. They're a problem not only at the zone, but it's boxing period, and it's about people, the fans that they have don't really care if they're really proving that they're the best. But are you supporting them that much that they can continue to do that? Well, so far so good. But the zone seems not want to do that. So that's going to be interesting going forward. If things do get normal again, it's going to be real interesting to see what kind of fights are going down. Because at the end of the day, as a consumer, I think you're going to be more happy with what's going to be going down coming soon. Let's see what's up. Doing Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm about to hear y'all.